You are watching live to the best Cincinnati sports podcast this side of the Mississippi and to the west of the Atlantic Ocean. How are we doing? My name's Santori Miles. Alongside me tonight is Bang, Bengal Dad. Bang, Greg Luther. Bang, Cincy James. It's a great freaking week to be a Bengal fan. We got the Titans. They don't know what year it is anymore. They keep talking about defense like it still matters. How are we doing? How are we doing?
I guess you couldn't be any better.
Hey, I feel great.
I love that intro. I love it.
The old movie, remember the Titans? They're going to be remembering the Bengals for quite some time.
Yes, sir. Tell him, Greg.
Look at Greg coming from the top rope.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we've got to get to our sponsors.
That's first and foremost, hamburger.
Hamburger. Okay, hamburger. First and foremost, while Bengal Dad's wolfing down a Wendy's single, Dave's single, I assume. No lettuce, right? No vegetables have entered that body since 1973. Now, sponsors for our show tonight. As always, Brimminghorn Meadery. And we do have a code. I talked about today. We have our own code. I'll pump it up here in a second, I believe. And I got to make sure I have it right here.
Don't screw it up now.
Oh, I screwed it up. We're already off the rails. We thought we were going to be segmented. It's not going great. I've already messed up the entire show.
Nah, it's all good.
Where's that? There it is. Okay. So, bam! If you type in Houday 9 when you are on Brimminghorn Meadery, minimum 2-bottle order. This will get you 15% off. More or less, it helps cover shipping because this is coming from Delaware. Use code Houday 9 when you're checking out. Promo code. You'll get a little love from us Rally Around the Natty. You'll get a little love from Brimminghorn. You'll get 2 bottles minimum, and it'll be great. 15% off. Code Houday 9.
Somebody tells me that the 9 is not for Carson Palmer.
No, it's probably Joey. Or we're like the 9th Houday sponsorship. I don't know how that works. Either way. Next, partnering with Betfred Sports. As you can see down at the bottom, legalized sports gambling is coming to the state of Ohio on January 1st. It's finally happening. Pete Rose's soul will be rectified. Go to betfredsports.com/Ohio/Bengals12. We get a little bit of compensation for it. Not going to lie. Get pre-registered. Ready to rock and roll. Compensation that comes to us, we give back to you guys. We use it to fund any tickets we might give away, which we've given away tickets before. We have had winners. We give away hoodies. We give away Skyline cards. We give away custom mugs that say Popcorn Studios on them. And we're helping use that money for the jersey giveaway that we're going to do every Christmas time. So go ahead, get pre-registered. Make sure you're in the state of Ohio. Make sure you're at least 21 years old. Have some fun. Remember to gamble responsibly. If we love you, Houday! How about that for sponsorships?
And you know what else is good? You don't have to live in the state of Ohio in order to be able to use this. You can withdraw, you can deposit if you're out of the state. The only thing you have to make sure that you do in state is bet.
Yep.
So you go up to a Bengals game, January 2nd, guess who we play? The Bills. You want to put that money on the Bengals to win? Do it. Let's see what you can win.
Right. It's not like it used to be where you had to drive to Belterra, place your bet in Indiana, come back, watch the game, drive back to Belterra, collect your funds. You can do everything except place the bet outside of Ohio. Mm-hmm. You can load your money, go to Ohio, place the bet, come home, and then you can recover your winnings at home. It's great. So remember, betfredsports.com. I'm going to say / because I think that's actually what it is. Ohio /Bengals12. Get your pre-registration, and you also get entered to win stuff like tickets and merch. It's a great program. Highly recommend it. With that being said, we got all kinds of people in the chat. We got Stranger. Woo! We got Crypt.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly. He gave me the tightest hug I've ever had in my life. We got Shelly again. We got Shelly. It's not an energy drink. It's Mountain Dew Zero, which is kind of the same thing. Pause. The best guest we've ever had.
That's right.
Yes, the KFC did hype me up, meeting a KFC bowl. And yeah, sure, we'll plug Jackpot Joey. I was just on
absolutely.
Why not? Jackpot Joey. They're still pumping out their beer. Go get some. It's good stuff.
That's right.
Here,
I'll show you.
We've got a schedule to upkeep, don't we, Bengal Dad?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So this week, 6-4 Bengals going down to Tennessee. Bengals are favored on the road by 1.5. Tells you how bad Tennessee is. What are the keys to victory? Everybody give me one. We'll start with you, Bengal Dad.
Well, I think it's the obvious. I think you keep Derrick Henry under 100 yards. Let Tannehill try to beat you, and I think you're going to be pretty good.
I like that one. I'm going to go with the defensive line. If we can keep their defensive line from just destroying Joe Burrow, I think we got a really, really good shot.
Greg, what do you got?
Well, they pretty much just stole both my stories. Okay. No, man, like I say, make Tannehill play quarterback. The offensive line, like you, Santori, like you post on Twitter, Burrow's not going to get sacked 9 times. That's not going to happen. The most I could maybe 3 if I had to pick. He's not going to get sacked 9 times. Another key to victory, their corners, I know they're low on. So Chase, you got Chase coming back. You have Higgins and Boyd and Hurst. Just Burrow, just launch the ball all over the place.
I got a weird one, and I think it's super true. And I'll go into depth if I have to. Get turnovers.
Yes.
When you have a team like Tennessee that's going to grind out the clock, you know, that does one major thing. It shortens the game because it shortens the amount of possessions you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So if you have the chance to be a little bit aggressive and jump a pass or punch a ball out, or, you know, Tannehill's, you know, you can come across that tomahawk chop like we've seen Hubbard and Hendrickson do a million times. You need to be a little bit aggressive because you need to try and steal a couple possessions in this game. I'm saying turnovers.
Wasn't it Jesse Bates? Didn't Jesse Bates talk about how Ryan Tannehill had a tell?
He might. He likes to tell people he makes more than his teammates. I know that.
Well, I mean, you look back at the game last year in the playoffs. What happened on the first play?
Pick.
Yep.
Jesse Bates interception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he had? So it was 3 picks. I know there was the one in overtime. There was the one in the first play of the game. Wasn't there like the first play out of the half or something?
Mike Hilton had one.
No, Mike Hilton had one down at the goal line where he had that weird popped up for himself.
Tannehill, yeah.
Yeah, no, they had 3 turnovers last year and, you know, won by a penaliter. So, and
with the final interception that Tannehill threw that got us the game-winning field goal, was it Apple that picked it off, or?
It was Apple that picked it off. I think it was Jermaine Pratt that got it in the air. Or Logan Wilson picked it off, but I think Apple tipped it.
Okay.
You're talking about the last pass.
Yes.
Yes. Apple tipped it. Wilson caught it.
God forbid that Eli Apple made a play, right? Oh, my God. Don't let the national media know he can do that.
Well, something else you can't say is that there's no way the Titans are going to have 9 sacks.
Oh, my God. I've been getting absolutely destroyed for that as well.
Yeah,
all I said was I didn't think the Titans were going to have 9 or more sacks. And you would have thought that, like, I shot the president or something. Like that. I have upset all of Tennessee with the comment that they're not going to have another record-setting day. If they have 5 sacks, I'm not going to be surprised. If they have 6, I'm not going to be surprised. 7 or more, I'd be a little surprised at this point. I still think they have a great pass rush. I still think they're going to get a lot of pressure. I still think there are going to be times where we're like, man, Burrow's running for his life. This is still an average line. There are still things that Tennessee's going to do to present a lot of problems. But at the same time, go back and watch the Green Bay Packer film, okay? They did not harass Aaron Rodgers too much. The Packers do not have the greatest line right now. The Packers have no weapons outside, and they were still getting chunked a little bit. There's a lot of concepts that the Packers run that the Bengals run. It wouldn't surprise me if – I'm not going to say we're going to blow them out, but if they get diced up a little bit.
If we can control that defensive line – if we can control the defensive line the way we did against Pittsburgh, we'll be fine.
Oh,
and Pittsburgh's got a good defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, though, you know, I was talking, Dale did an episode of Bengals and Brews yesterday, and, you know, we were talking about Derrick Henry, and Dale made a fair statement. When Derrick Henry came back, I was shut down Henry. He was just coming back from injury. So we just can't take, you know, you can't take Henry too lightly. You still got to be prepared. You just can't let Derrick Henry get in that rhythm and all that, you know. And like, and I know the other guy last year, the backup had like 4 carries and, you know, almost 100 yards rushing. But other than that, though, man, we can just keep Derrick Henry like you tweeted out today, Santori, around 70 yards. That's a great game.
Well, in that number, I didn't really just pull that out of my ass. Derrick Henry over the last 2 weeks has had 47 carries for 140 yards total. He's been averaging 70 yards a game and 2.9 yards a carry for half a month.
Yeah.
He hasn't been great. He hasn't been good. He's been under 3 yards a carry for half a month. I'm not saying that's going to continue, but they're having trouble sustaining blocks in the interior and readers back. There's a lot of things that I don't think Titans fans are necessarily looking at logistically right now that could cause some problems. Tennessee's barely scored 19 points a game the entirety of the season, and now they're going against a team that's notorious for shutting it down in the second half. If they don't score 25 points, they're in some deep shit.
Yeah.
Well, and they don't. And they don't.
We're third in the league.
Go ahead, James.
Oh, no, you're good.
I was going to say they don't have that backup running back in Foreman, so you're not going to have to worry about that. And we've got a second week back now with DJ Reader.
Yeah,
I think those two things combined give us a little better of an opportunity to stop that running game.
100%.
Yeah. And we've moved all the way up to third in the league in scoring. We're 26.5 points a game. Like you said, if they don't hit 25, it's going to be a long day for them because we're probably going to put up 30 plus.
Yeah.
And we've moved up without Chase.
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Well, the odd thing is, and we broke this down on Strawberry Ice's show, teams are shifting back to man against the Bengals over the last 2 weeks.
Bring it.
So we always, Dad, you and I talked about this at length in the car the other day, where teams make adjustments to adjustments, right? Well, it started out with Tampa 2, and then they started running all kinds of weird hybrid stuff. Well, the stuff that they've been running against the Bengals over the last week now is 2 high safeties and man underneath. All right.
Well, maybe
you want to take guys out of the box and then run man? Go.
I guess.
Maybe they went to man, though, because Chase wasn't here.
All right.
I mean, they might just drop back into that cover 2 again.
Well, we know.
But it's not like we haven't seen it.
Okay, well, run the ball. Screens, quick game. I mean,
we got Greg's running back in there. We're going to be really good.
Well, that's the other thing. I think people got away from running the man underneath because Burrow was sitting back there and starting to pick them apart for 300 yards a game, nickel and diming them. He had no problem, especially once the blocking got better. He had no problem sitting there just going boop, 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 for 90 yards down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, teams are starting to try and they're to the point now where they're just trying stuff to see if it works, and you're going to get a bunch of different looks now until something kind of breaks the mold. But Bengals have handled every single coverage that teams have thrown at them, and the 2 high look last week from the Steelers didn't work at all. So they've broken 2 high, they've broken man, they've broken Tampa 2. The next thing you're going to start seeing is cover 3, which means the flats are going to be wide open. I mean, it's going to start getting fun. Burrow's seen just about every coverage that's been thrown out of at this point.
Yeah. Burks, yeah, he is, Haas. He is starting to come into his own game, Burks. So that's the guy you got to keep an eye on. I know he's a rookie and all the Arkansas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you just got to keep an eye on him. But going back to what Bengal Dad said, make Tannehill play quarterback. That's what happened. What we started doing to him last year. Make Tannehill play quarterback, okay, and we'll be fine. Eh?
You need to make the other team beat you with their lesser effective weapons.
Yes.
Bill Belichick 101.
I'll take this one. So Mom, it's weird saying that on live, but so I saw a video of Chase who ran up a hill to get away from reporters. You're not going to really do that if your hip's hurting.
No.
I think he's feeling fine. He participated well in practice there. I haven't heard any reports of ill effects from it. So I think he's playing.
This is the last thing I'll say before we move on. I know we had received inside information that he was going to play against Pittsburgh, and he didn't. So, egg on my face, whatever. But I'll say this. That game was less than 72 hours ago, whatever it is at this point. He went from being on crutches in 72 hours to sprinting up a hill with no problem.
Yeah.
I don't think he was hurt Sunday. They probably
he probably could have.
Yeah.
Right. I think the Bengals probably gave it one more week, but he's he's fine.
Isn't it nice to hold out one of your better players against Pittsburgh because you know you can still beat them in Pittsburgh?
Absolutely, 100%.
I've never seen that before.
Never.
Well, I do want to move on to a new segment that we have because we're about 15 minutes in now. We're trying to stay segmented. We're trying to stay rigid, organized, military, vigilant. New segment, and this is fun for all of us. Comment in the chat. Have fun with it. The SPOW, the SPO, the SPO.
Whoa.
Your sleeper player of the week. Who you got? Bengal Dad.
My sleeper player of the week.
Someone that's under the radar that's going to just light it up.
I think it's time for Hayden Hurst to break out with 100+.
Yes.
Ooh.
I haven't seen, I think he's more than capable. They just don't target him. I think everything's going to roll to Chase's side, and he's probably going to be running down the middle saying, throw it to me.
Okay. Cincy James, sleeper player.
I'm going CTV. I look for him to get a pick this week.
Okay. Gregory.
You know what? Now what's the update? Before I say my sleeper player, what's the update on Mixon? Just out of curiosity, is he supposed to play?
I haven't heard
The
anything.
only update I've seen was him dancing around in the locker room on all those videos after the game, looking fine.
Everybody knows I was all over Pete Ryan, so I really can't call him a sleeper player, but I'm going to name somebody else. If Mixon's not playing, Travion Williams, he has never, ever had a fair chance. And every time he's come in, I felt like he's producing. He's got a great attitude always. I would love to see Travion Williams come in, back up P. Ryan and see what he can do. That is my sleeper player, Travion Williams.
Okay. I'm going to go with an Eli Apple pick 6 to break the internet. Eli Apple, yes! Crypt and I are on the same page. I want an Eli Apple pick 6. I don't need it to end a game because I don't need that kind of heart attack going through my entire system. But I can see Eli Apple having fun. I mean, he's not had the best year by any stretch of the imagination, but I could see it happening. I'm willing to roll the dice.
Yep.
Those are your sleeper players. There's your keys to victory. And guess what else? We have another new segment.
What is that?
Whoa.
Bengal Dad Talk. I wanted to call it Angry Bengal Dad Talk, but you said you're not always angry.
I'm not always angry.
You're always angry.
No, I just have different
You
points of
screamed
view.
at me on the phone before the show started because you couldn't find the link.
Well, yeah, that kind of pisses me off.
So what's getting to you? What's getting to you right now? What's just?
I don't know if anything's getting to me right now, but we'll example what this is going to be about, like we talked about on the phone earlier today. You had asked me, give me an example of something that during an NFL game just grinds my gears, pisses me off, whatever.
Yeah, the old Family Guy segment.
The old Family Guy
Grinds my
segment. I
gears.
can't stand when a defensive player has a pick and the entire team's got to run 60 yards to the other end zone, slide, pound their chest, look inside, look at the little TV monitor. That's your job. You did your job. You didn't do something that was worthy of a standing ovation. I mean, that's what you're paid to do. Just act like you've been there before. Be a pro. Just be fired up about it, but you don't have to choreograph all that stuff. I can't stand that stuff.
Yeah. Bengal Dad to quote a quote from Mighty Ducks: "Score, don't spike."
Score, don't spike. Is that what you said?
Yep, score, don't spike.
I don't think I've watched the Mighty Ducks before.
But when he wins a game, he gets all cheerful and he says, "Look, just score. You don't need to celebrate. Just score."
Okay. I'm for it.
Kind of the way Barry Sanders used to be when he scored touchdowns. He just flipped it back to the referee. No big deal. That's why I'm here.
That's because he knew he had the greatest highlight tape of all time.
Best running back of all time. I have no problem saying that.
And don't get me wrong. I like
No.
pure unadulterated joy. I like when somebody's fired up and it's legit. But when all of a sudden, even when the Bengals come out and they're doing their Motown dance when they score a touchdown, and I know people are going to say, "Oh yeah, no fun league." I just don't like that stuff. I think it's really, really poor sportsmanship. I mean, they shouldn't allow it. I don't think they allow it at the high school level. Santori, you would know that. They shouldn't allow it at the high school level. I know football, NFL is entertainment. I get entertained by the scoreboard, and if we're winning, that's what gets me fired up. Not seeing some just a bunch of overpaid athletes out there dancing and celebrating and making a fool of themselves. I just wish some of that was curtailed.
So, Bengal Dad, were you a fan of Chad Johnson?
No, I didn't like when he did this stuff. Some of it was kind of neat. You couldn't help yourself because you were caught up in the moment. But I'll tell you what, who liked all the crap when he started to have his career started to diminish? Who liked it when he gave the Pepto-Bismol to the Cleveland Browns and we lost to the Browns? It's stuff like that. You're putting a target on yourself. And I don't think these guys need to do that.
It's because we talked about it on the phone. I say it's one of those things where if you laugh at it when it's on your team, but you hate it when it's not on your team, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we talk about Vontaze Burfict. You love Vontaze Burfict if he plays for you.
Oh, yeah.
But if he plays against you, you absolutely hate him because you know there's going to be some shady shit going on the other end that you don't like. Yep. So it's kind of like, well,
Q Steelers fans.
Yeah.
If you cue the point of view from the opposing fan and you would go, yeah, I wouldn't like that. It probably needs to cut out.
Who was that jagwagon that played for the Steelers that would go down to his knee and it got him and he would shoot the bow and arrow after he would sack a quarterback?
Aaron Smith.
Oh, God.
And it cost him dearly when he did that against the Bengals. So I think they lost the game after that, after he sacked Dalton.
Well, it was third down. He sacked Dalton. It was going to end the game. We were out of field goal range. Went down on one knee and did his bow and arrow celebration. Automatic first down, and now we're in field goal range.
Yeah.
Ball game. Thank you.
It's that. It's the receiver from the Carolina Panthers a few weeks ago when he caught that bomb. Why did he have to take his helmet off and show the world who he was? He flipping cost his team a game. I can't stand that stuff.
I'll give you a good one. Deshaun Jackson dropping the ball before he crossed the goal line.
Mm-hmm. All the showboating. I mean, it's all fun and games when it works, but boy, when it backfires, I just don't. I think there's too much of that going on. I wish they would at least curtail it.
I understand it to a degree because at the very root of it, it is entertainment.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that. It's just a form of entertainment. But at some point, it isn't scripted. There is a human element to it. And, I don't like being kicked when I'm down. I don't have the dirt rubbed in my face. But on the flip side, you'll see it every once in a while where someone picks off a pass, runs to the end zone, they all celebrate, and then they'll make fun of you on Come On Man. They'll say, hey, it's time for our favorite game show. What's the score? And it's like, you're down 27. What are you doing?
Yeah. So again, don't get me wrong. I don't mind it when it's legit. In baseball, everybody's got to flip a bat 30 feet now when they hit a home run. Why? Because Bautista happened to do that, and Bautista did it years ago in the playoffs, and that was like a knee-jerk reaction. That was legit. And now everybody's got to do it. Everybody's got to stare down the dugout when they do something. I just don't like it. That's the end of Bengal Dad talk for the day.
So, one of the things we've always done on Wednesday, and we've done this, and it typically eats up about 45 minutes of time. But so we're gonna shrink wrap this a little bit.
Yeah,
some game picks. We've got games that heavily impact the Bengals at this point, and you've got games that, quite frankly, don't matter whatsoever for the rest of the year. Like, if you've got two AFC teams that are both 3-7 playing Sunday, I don't have to look at it at this point.
Yeah.
If you want to go look at it for, Betfred, go for it. But I frankly don't give a damn.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at some ones that actually do matter. Let me pull up the schedule for this week and we'll talk about it. But if you guys have any filler things to talk about, well, I'm pulling all these games up. Go for it.
I'm kind of talked out right now.
It doesn't sound like
something that I
talking about.
No, I got something. So something that I found interesting. I was looking up some stats, and Cincy James stats, blah blah blah. The Bengals are 9th in total yards allowed. I did not realize that they were that high.
Is that
Yeah,
from
that's a
the
good thing.
bottom, or is that
That's a good thing.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
got it?
Yes, that's good 9, not bad 9. That's Joe Burrow 9.
They're probably that high because they don't give up any yards in the second half.
Yep.
Right.
They're only playing half the game on defense, apparently.
Right. Well, they're 8th in passing yards allowed, and they're 15th in rushing yards. So even though we've had some injuries in the secondary has held up decent. Now you could say you look at the quarterbacks that we've played, there hasn't really been guys that'll dice you up. So maybe that's part of it. But we're giving up 21.5 points a game. We're scoring 26.5. So we're outscoring our opponents 5 points a game.
Okay.
That's always a good thing.
Well, I've got a first game for us to look at here, and I'm going to type these as we go, so I'll be the last person to comment as I'm typing. But the first one to look at, Detroit, favored by 9.5.
No.
Wait.
Bills are favored by 9.5.
This is dyslexia, trying to do 3 things at once.
Well,
Bills minus 9.5 at Detroit. Typed it right, can't read it right.
All right. Let's start with Greg and then rotate around James and myself and then over to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I'd be willing to bet all my Thanksgiving food tomorrow that the Bills would win, even by more than 9.5. I will bet. I'm not saying I'm doing it, but I would be willing to.
You'd bet all your ocean spray cranberry in a can. All of it.
Oh, but I said I would definitely consider it.
I tell you what, and something interesting is the Bills played there last week. They were the home team in Detroit. They're already familiar. I think they're going to win, and they're probably going to win by about 18.
Yeah.
Well, you stole half of my thunder there, James, because I think it's very interesting that they have to be the only team. They don't have to be, I guess, because you got the Jets and the Giants. They have to be one of only a couple teams in the history of the NFL to play back-to-back weeks in the same stadium and be a home team and then be a visitor. It's really kind of weird. I think because it is Thanksgiving and that is Detroit's Super Bowl every year, that they're going to play it a little closer than what that spread says. So I would take the Detroit Lions and the points just because this is their national time to shine.
Yeah, if I'm going straight off of a money line, I think you would be insane not to take the Bills. But 9.5 is a lot for a team that, and I know Detroit has a horrendous defense. Like we were talking historically bad Terrell Austin Bengals level defense. But situation matters and context matters. They're at home. Buffalo's not playing well. Buffalo's not finishing games. I think Josh Allen's elbow's still messed up a little bit. Dan Campbell's teams fight, and it is their Super Bowl. I'd take Detroit plus 9.5 in this one.
You know what? I'm going to take back that bet on my Thanksgiving meal that I said I'd be willing to do. I'm now on thin ice on this. I might take Detroit right at the 9.5 now that you really think about it. Because, like you say, it's their Super Bowl. They got nothing to lose. So but I'm not betting my Thanksgiving food, though. That's.
I will.
Detroit,
one thing I. Go ahead,
James. Go ahead, James.
One thing I will say, a lot of their drives ended in points last week. Now they were a bunch of field goals, but they were moving the ball. It's just they weren't finishing the drives. So I look for some of those drives to get finished with touchdowns as opposed to field goals.
Yeah.
We shall see.
We shall.
Next game, Patriots getting 2.5 at Minnesota Vikings.
Can we go backward for just a moment? Can you
No. Yes.
just rewind? I think something else that we ought to mention as we're doing these, since we've limited what these games are, is just to remind everybody what the impact is, why we're picking this game.
Okay. There's about 6 of them that we're going to go through.
Well, the obvious impact on this is you've got 2 teams in the AFC East that are 7-3, Bills and the Dolphins. We've already beaten the Dolphins. We are yet to play the Bills. You need to root against these teams just in case with the way that everything's clustered up, you don't want to be tied with these teams at the end because three-way ties and greater get separated by conference record. That's your main tiebreaker. We're not right now. We don't bode so well against any of these teams in the AFC with our conference record.
Right.
So we need to push as many of these teams down to where we have an opportunity to be a game ahead of them, not tied with them.
Yeah.
If the wild card is the way that we would enter.
Doesn't mean I'm not rooting for Detroit.
So that means we're rooting for the Vikings here. Vikings are favored at home by 2.5, which I think is ridiculous. I feel like the Vikings are going to kick the Patriots' ass. They're at home. They score points. They have Justin Jefferson.
We said the same thing, though, probably last week against the Cowboys, though, didn't we?
That's why we play the game. But
What's your pick, Greg?
I'm taking Vikings.
I got to go Vikings. I think, although it's one thing to be a fluke and maybe lose by 2 touchdowns, but 40-3, holy moly, man! I mean, but the Patriots. I know it's the Patriots, but if this was at New England, I'd take New England. But I'm going to go Vikings.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Weird things happen in New England, and I think we all know what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go with the Vikings as well. I think they're going to be just absolutely pissed after last week. They're going to want to put some points up, look for Justin Jefferson to catch 8 to 10 balls probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they just go to him 14, 15 targets.
Right. Just spam him.
Yeah.
Well, you got the Patriots who seemingly are struggling now to score points. They eked out a win in one of the craziest ways you could possibly eke one out last week. And they're playing a team that got completely destroyed. And typically when a good team gets humiliated, see Bengals versus Browns like the last 3 times we've played them, the next game is usually an ass whooping delivered by the team that got throttled. So I would definitely take the Vikings in this game.
All right. And that brings you to our daily double. Woo, 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 woo. Upset of the week. Give me the Jags. I think Baltimore might be slipping a little bit. How we think.
So my buddy Steve texted me today. Lamar wasn't practicing?
Yeah, he didn't practice today.
Why not?
I don't know, but I've got him in fantasy. And my little app said that my app said that he's questionable, so I don't know what's going on with him.
Is he your running back in fantasy?
I don't. He might be my super flex. You laugh. I think he's my super flex.
Yeah, but that includes quarterbacks. So
it does, but it doesn't list the position. It just says Lamar Jackson super flex. So
all right, Greg, what do you got on this game?
I mean, as much as I want to see the Jaguars, but then again, the Panthers, they only won by 10, but I think they'll snap out. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I want to say Jaguars so badly. I just don't see it happening. Ravens.
So Lamar has some kind of hip injury. They've already said he's playing. It's probably just precautionary rest. I wouldn't read too much into it. Yeah. But we heard the same thing about Jamar Chase. So who knows?
Yeah, we did.
Lamar's not playing all that great. His passing touchdowns over the last 6 or 7 weeks are just way, 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 way down. They're not scoring a whole lot either. So, I mean, they put up 13 on the Panthers. When we put up how many points? 42? I'm taking the Jags. I'm going to ride with Santori on this one.
Yeah! Put some gravy on it.
I want you.
Well, I try not to lead with my heart, so I'm not going to. I would love to see the Jaguars take care of business, but I do think the Ravens are good enough to win by more than 4 points in Florida. What you really need here is you need about a 2-hour torrential downpour in Jacksonville.
Well, that happens like every 4 hours.
And then Lamar Jackson is pretty much neutralized at that point.
We're rooting for rain. Let's pull up the weather report. You guys talk about the next one. I'll pull up a weather report.
Well, no. Funny.
Whoa.
I'm sure you guys remember this game. The only time we beat the Patriots, remember Brady was going down the field, but then that
And then we got a timely monsoon for 8 minutes in the middle of the fourth quarter.
Well, no. Well, if you remember, that running back almost had a touchdown. We couldn't even see what was going on. And I think it was Pac-Man. If he would have passed Pac-Man, that would have been a touchdown. But then Pac-Man picked off the game-winning pass. Mother Nature helped us out that day. Mm-hmm. Well, not playing helped us out too, but still, I was at that game. The only time we ever beat the Patriots, Tom Brady.
Mother Nature is the ultimate neutralizer. With that being said, talk about it. I'm gonna pull up a weather report for Jacksonville.
Bengal Dad, you start.
Oh, I think we're definitely going to cover. If we're going to be that team that we think that this team is capable of being, I'm surprised it's -3. It was -1.5 when I saw it this morning. Regardless of if it's -1.5 or -3, we need to take care of business. We are a better all-around team. It's just a matter of us staying focused and not getting, you kind of go into a dizzy spell or something when you're on the road and things start to go wrong. They just need to avoid getting caught in the middle of that helix that seems to happen. As long as they can stay close, get a lead, and not have strange turnovers and things like that happen, they're better than most every team in the NFL.
Santori, you look like you really want to talk right now.
We got thunderstorms in Jacksonville on Sunday.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Bengal Day, you got your wish, buddy.
So I'm going to
It can't hurt.
I'm going to teach everybody something out there. When you read a weather report that says 50% precipitation, that does not mean a chance. Fun fact. That means the coverage of the area. Like you are 100% getting rain. It's just what percent of the area is getting it. So it's not a chance. It's coverage. They have 50% coverage in Jacksonville with thunderstorms this coming Sunday. So I am let it rain.
That's from our chief meteorologist, Santori.
Yeah,
that's right.
The green screen back here. And you, see, Vanna White, all this shit.
Oh my gosh.
Being said,
well, we got.
Go ahead and do your prediction.
Greg, you're next. What's going on with the Bengal game? That's the answer.
All right.
100%.
Okay. I genuinely think there's a chance they might kick the Titans' ass. I feel the same way about this game as I did against Pittsburgh. I don't think they're going to lose. They obviously can. My heart says win, and I've watched at least 3 games of the most 3 recent games of the Titans today. I hear a lot about that defensive line. They didn't do anything that popped out to me as ferocious. Right. Now, granted, matchups are different. They might be in trouble. I mean, the Bengals are really starting to score some points right now. If that doesn't happen when you're blocking poorly, they might be in. I mean, they were, even when they only scored 13 against Cleveland in that wacky Halloween game, they were moving the ball up and down the field almost the whole night. They just couldn't do anything right toward the end of the drive. So, I mean, they've got 4 or 5 straight games of really churning the ball. Tennessee might be in some serious trouble.
But I'll say this. Do not turn your back on them. The old saying, zombie land, double tap it. When you're you keep all that and stuff. That's one thing I learned watching Zombieland. Double tap.
First and foremost, the Titans are good. I don't want anybody to think that I don't think that they're a bad team. They are a good team. They're a scrappy team. You don't get to 7-3 because you suck. No. First and foremost. I have a very hard time believing in run-first teams. I just don't think it's super sustainable. And when you start running into teams that throw the ball, you lose.
Yeah.
You lose 9 out of 10 times.
Let me address something about the Titans. They're 7-3, but they haven't earned the right to be considered a true 7-3 team. Not with who they've played. And I know it's
I get back and forth on that.
But if we got to play Carolina every week,
oh my God.
I mean, come on. I mean, look at their division. They've beat Indianapolis twice. They've got Jacksonville and was it Houston? I mean, come on.
I'm pulling up their schedule right now.
And I know people can say Cleveland or Pittsburgh. Cleveland and Pittsburgh would annihilate Indianapolis, Houston,
Yes.
and whoever the other one, Jacksonville. It's a different level. Even though our division is kind of a two-team race at this point, still combined, our division is so much stronger than that division is.
So looking at the Titans' schedule, they lost to the Giants week 1, which, the Giants were a hot start, but, whatever. I try not to look too much into week 1 games. Anything can happen week 1. They got obliterated by the Bills. They lost by 34. They beat the Raiders by 2, who have zero identity.
Oh, my God.
They beat the Colts by 7, and the Colts had to bench their quarterback.
Yeah.
They beat the Commanders, who are one of the biggest shit shows in sports, by 4. They beat the Colts again. They beat the Texans, who have 1 win in like the last calendar year, by 1 score. They lost to the Chiefs. Now, granted, that was 3 points in overtime, so they played them tight. They beat the Broncos by 1 score, who can't move the ball. They beat the Packers last week by 10, and Aaron Rodgers has no receivers. That's their schedule.
Man, I'd love that schedule.
They haven't really – anytime they play somebody tough, it's eat or they haven't really done anything to jump out on the stat sheet that goes, oh, shit, they're a problem. They're not hanging up 40 on anybody.
I'm not saying they're not good, and I'm not saying this game won't be tough, but there are a lot better 7. They are definitely the least impressive 7-3 team in the NFL.
Well,
if you line them up with Buffalo
they're the
and
same
Miami.
team they were last year. I mean, it was like when we went to the 1 seed last year, and I was like, well, the 3 seed's harder than this. It's like even the city's more difficult than them.
You look at that 2011 Bengals team, even though we were supposed to go 0-16, everybody said we still went 9-7 to make the playoffs. That's what you could compare that team. We played a lot of cruddy teams. Of course, a lot of teams weren't taking us seriously, but that you could compare to that team or one of the other years we had Andy and all that. We were still a decent team, but we were just beating up, the even worse teams.
Yeah. All right. Final 2 games here.
I haven't picked mine.
James, I haven't heard your pick yet.
You don't count.
Nope, I've been letting everybody get their jabs in on the Titans.
Your mom likes you more.
No, maybe. No, I do like that. By Hoss there.
All of the Titans wins came against opponents averaging 15 points per game. Any offense that's averaged 19 or more, they've lost to. Okay.
Nice stat, Kane.
Whoa. Kind of proves my point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
That's
So
what I said in 10 seconds.
Right. I'm going Bengals. I do think we're going to get to Tannehill. I think we're going to see maybe 2 sacks from Trey. I think our defensive line is just going to pummel their offensive line. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the pressure we put on Tannehill will turn into some turnovers also.
By the way,
throw a couple balls up.
Yeah. Can we agree that was DJ Reader's best game ever last year in the backfield 90% of the time? Easily his best game ever.
For sure.
And we're speaking about turnovers. The Bengals are 9th in turnover differential at +1. I look for them to up that up.
Right.
Can I share a stat that's way off board that I read literally before I got on this show, and it just made me cackle?
Nope.
Okay.
No. No.
I guess this is in their history because this was a sample size of 74 games. And this is kind of an odd stat. So to happen 74 times, it's got to tell me this is like a historical stat for the team. When the Steelers score 30 or more points and have a +2 turnover differential, going into Sunday, they were 72-0. Ha!
Or
There was a tie, but I don't really count the tie. They had never lost a game when they score 30 points or more and have at least a +2 in the turnover differential. Now they have. Okay. Sucks to suck. Next, Texans +13.5 in Miami.
Speaking of sucking, I guess I'll start on that one. I think the Dolphins cover. Their offense is just so dynamic. I think they cover.
I'm with Bengal Dad.
Every week,
I think they're gonna.
Every week, there's one game we go, there's no chance, and then.
Got to go with Flipper.
Yeah, here comes Brandon Cooks, and whoever is playing quarterback besides Davis Mills.
Yeah,
because they benched him. So I do think
Yates back from the dead.
I don't know. I don't even remember who they said is playing because I was like, well, Davis Mills. I mean, they're giving him a shot, and no, they're not. But I agree with Bengal Dad, and it looks like we are getting comments in the Twitter chat, and I don't know how to get them on there.
I don't know either. I don't think you can pump the Twitter comments up here. So sorry. If you want to read some,
can we read a couple?
I saw Westy. Well, no, they're popping up on my phone. I saw Westy put some up there, and I want to make sure that we're not ignoring them. It's just I don't know how to put them up.
That's Westy. First off.
Okay, good.
So yeah, he put it on both. That's Westy. So we got him.
Good.
Don't worry about it. We're not ignoring you. We promise. We love you.
Greg.
As much as I laugh at some of these, I think the Dolphins are going to blow them up.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to go there. Just we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Going with Flipper.
All right.
Oh, that's
Last
right.
but not least, Chargers favored by 3 at the Cardinals. Is Kyler?
It all depends on if Kyle Murray's quarterbacking or not.
Kyler.
If Kyler Murray is quarterbacking,
Hey, Tori,
that's all that matters.
Double X.
You know what my question is with Kyler this weekend? What's anything big going on?
It might be
Double
a
XP
weekend for Call of Duty. I don't know.
All right.
Well, I think he's their only chance. Because I mean, I want them to beat the Chargers. That's all I'm thinking.
Right.
I don't think they're going to stay close to the Chargers if he's not playing.
I want to pick the Cardinals.
Well, you don't like?
I'm not gonna. It's not 2007.
Yeah.
No, he's had himself a nice little backup career, and I would love to have a backup quarterback career, and I'll be the first to say that.
I'll hold a clipboard for $12 million. Sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, I just don't think that they're going to hang with the Chargers. Mm-hmm. I want them to, but
I mean Chargers. I mean I know they lost J.C. Jackson. I know that and all, but I mean, good Lord, you have all this talent around. I mean, Justin Herbert's still throwing a lot of passing yards, but compared to Burrow this year, remember everybody kept saying, I still like Herbert more. Is it even close this year between Herbert and Burrow as of right now?
No,
not even close.
Not this year.
Come on, man. I mean, I know you lost Slater, but still, all that talent they spent on. It's an embarrassment, but I'm still going to go Chargers. I'm just saying, this is an embarrassing year for the Chargers, in my opinion.
Well, I don't want to write off the Cardinals because the Chargers are 5-5 for a reason. They're not good.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
With that being said, that was our final segment for the show. So we need to do now.
I got a couple of things I want to bring up. Just a couple.
We're at 48 minutes, Bengal Dad.
I'll make it brief. Just a couple things that are kind of like strange quarterback anomalies. Carolina is starting Sam Darnold this week. I think that's a little strange.
The Lego man?
I guess Baker Mayfield had his shot and you're out.
Yeah.
And you brought this up to me today. Mike White.
Dang it, baby.
Yes.
Quarterbacking again now for the Jets. What does that say about a team that is 6-3? I think that's what their record is. And they are in the thick of the playoff hunt, and they switch quarterbacks and go to Mike White?
Tells me that the head coach does not like the quarterback.
Well,
the quarterback has been pissing off a lot of people in-house from what I've read.
On Bleacher Report, it popped up during the show that finally, what's his name, Wilson apologized because apparently he didn't take like he didn't hold himself accountable for the loss,
Right.
like trying to be like Ryan
Did you
Leaf.
see his press conference?
What's that?
A reporter straight asked him in the press conference, "You guys did not score. Do you like do you feel bad or hold? Did the offense let the defense down?" I think was the exact wordage, and he straight said, "No." Next question, and I was like, "Oh, you only scored 3 points. You let the entire city of New York down."
Burrow
defense.
You look at Burrow; he took the blame when it was never his fault at times either. There was
because he's a captain and he understands what to do.
And that's the thing. You're searching out Burrow, like because a lot of times I'll be like, Burrow, it's not your fault, but Burrow's like, I'm the team captain. That's my thing. Right there, red flag with Zach Wilson.
Yep. So that's pretty much it for the show tonight. We do want to pump the things that we always pump at the end of the show. The jersey giveaway. You guys have got about 6 days left. We're going to announce that. I think I said 9 p.m. on December 1st, whatever that is. I put it out there earlier this week. 6 or 7 days left. We just hit, I think, $800 for the year, which is fantastic and awesome. I hope we can keep going. So remember, every $10 to any charity of your choice gets you one entry. So like Pork Chop today donated another 20. Yep. So he's got 2 more entries today.
And he did that because he won a bet on the Steelers-Bengals game. He bet somebody that the Bengals would win. They said Steelers. So the Bengals are helping us raise money. Look at that.
Yeah. So, if you only want to donate $1, that's fine. We do have other giveaways that we build that toward. So, we just want to make sure you guys are donating to something that's good for your community, something close to your heart. I don't care if it's an autism foundation, if it's a food bank, if it's something for the hearing impaired, whatever you want to do. Just send us the receipt, tag us in it, DM us, whatever. Any of the 4 of us will get it, except Bengal Dad, because he has no idea how to use his DMs right now.
Nope.
So just tag us. I'm sure we'll get it, and we'll make sure you get an entry into the giveaway. But you got 7 days left. As always, the show tonight was brought to you by Brimminghorn Meadery. Feel free to use our promo code HOODAY9 at their website. It is a minimum 2-bottle order, and that gets you 15% off. Basically, that helps cover the shipping cost, because it is shipping 2 bottles of alcohol across the country. That can be a little bit expensive. But it's good stuff, man. I mean, I don't even like to drink, and it's really, really tasty stuff. Also brought to you by Betfred Sportsbook. Remember, Betfred Sports, we're opening casinos all around the United States, specifically one here in Ohio. You can log on, get pre-registered using our code. It's been scrolling at the bottom of the screen for 52 minutes and 56 seconds now. betfredsports.com/Ohio/Bengals12. Get pre-registered. You'll get a $20 free bet to put on the Bengals for the Super Bowl. You'll get entered into some ticket and merchandise giveaways, and then we get paid for it, which is really cool, because we don't keep the money. We give it back to you guys in form of ticket giveaways, or in forms of jersey giveaways, or Skyline gift cards, or whatever we decide to do. If we get like 10 people to pre-register, I know the amount of money that's going to hit, and we'll be able to buy some tickets for some people. So feel free, pre-register, have fun, gamble responsibly. Remember, state of Ohio, 21 and up. With that being said, anybody have anything else they want to plug tonight?
Who do we have coming on Monday? Do we know?
Not for sure yet.
Not for sure yet.
Do we have any?
I was going to say we do have quite a list of guests. We can't really confirm those yet, but we are in contact with them. Some pretty good ones. You guys aren't going to want to miss that.
Absolutely. But as of right now, for Monday, I'm pretty confident as of right now, I'm pretty confident we could be getting somebody in Monday.
Mm-hmm. If Glenn Goodberry would stop working so hard, he could come on. But every time I contact him, he's working his overnights. Glenn, I'm expecting my hug in the Buffalo game still, FYI. It's been a year.
When you hug him, are you going to then turn around and suplex him into a table?
Yeah.
No, I might jump off a bus into a table with him. I'll do it. I'll jump
into
a party table.
Please do that. I'll video.
Yeah.
I might do it while eating a one chip. It just might be how to disappoint my dad the most in a span of 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Eating a chip and jumping off of us.
Yep.
And you did it naked. Oh, look out.
Yeah, Tori, would you rather take the one chip challenge or do a full hour segment talking about the Reds' positivity this offseason?
Reds positivity?
Yeah.
Is that even possible to talk about that for an hour?
Give me 20 chips, Greg.
What's that?
Give me 20 chips.
Do with the chips, I can't blame you for that.
I'll snort them, like whatever it takes. There's nothing.
Oh my God.
There's nothing positive. I'll eat one of the raw octopus in my refrigerator right now.
Oh, tell them what we were doing with that.
Nope, they're just gonna have to figure that one out on their own. All right. Well, it's been a good show. We've hit about 55 minutes here, and appreciate everybody for watching. We had quite a few people tune in today, and it wasn't just all of James' family. So looks like we're growing a bit. And
We're growing a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, let's say go to our YouTube channel.
No, coming straight for you, Bengal Dad.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
It's like a knife in the back and they twisted
Let's I love that.
We legit had an hour conversation about how our shows were too long. And now they're too short.
So let's real quick. Let's say go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, please. We want to get more followers there. Go to our Twitter, follow us on Twitter, please.
Hit that notification bell.
Yes,
money.
please. We're hovering. We're hovering at like 70 or so subscribers on YouTube.
69. It's okay.
No, it was 70 this morning.
Oh, well, someone needs to stop.
So we want to build that up. So and then Haas here just wanted to say thanks for having me on. And once he figures out his audio, he's gonna join again. Yeah, definitely we want to have you on again, Haas. I mean, like now I wasn't there at the very beginning, but Santori, Bengal Dad, they say you are the #1 fan. You have been there since day one. You've watched every single episode, probably 12 times, because that's just the kind of guy you are.
Haas, you the man, buddy.
Haas, I have a song, and Crip, this is for you, and we can all sing it. And this goes out to you, Pittsburgh.
Can't touch this.
Ooh. Can't touch this.
Can't touch this.